I love that. I love that because there is a very clear distinction between the generations of what they prefer, what are their attributes. And AI, I can see, is primed to really help you to focus in on that and adapt your strategy. If that is your target audience, adapt your strategy to what's actually resonating with them. I really love that. Now, my question to you is this, and you being in the tech space and your background, I'm sure you're familiar with the term big data.
Yeah.
Now, before AI became as commonplace, before AR and VR became as commonplace as well, big data was a thing while I was still in corporate America that everybody was talking about. It's like, we get these, Starbucks with big data, they're able to pivot quickly because they know immediately that there's a drop in the East Coast of people buying the pumpkin spice lattes. So they pivot quickly. Is big data still relevant, and how does it fit in with AI?
Yeah. So we refer to it as data lake now, right?
Data lake. Okay. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So data lake, right? It's that lake of data. That's how you refer to it in the AI space, which again, it's all the same. It's just changing of terminology. Like, things that, kids, we said when we were younger, kids now are starting to say it. So just things just get repeated and changed a little bit over time.
Yeah.
So from an AI perspective, and look, it depends upon the businesses, but the most important part of AI and having a successful output of AI is the data. And like anything else, if your data is poor, you get a poor result. If you're looking at a business and the financials are poor and wrong, you're going to have a completely different understanding of whether it's a good business to buy or poor business to buy.
Yeah.
So that data is extremely important. So from an AI perspective, the first thing we look at is the data lake. Where is your data? Where are you getting it from? And what does it look like? Is it structured? Is it unstructured? Right? So think of it like an Excel spreadsheet. If you just threw every number about a business onto a spreadsheet and had no rows and no columns, nobody understand what it means.
No context.
But once you label it and give it structure, then you can understand what it is. So that big data is the data lake. And then the next part of it is, well, what's your AI strategy? What do you want to do? What's your problem statement? What's your use case, right? So again, that's goes back to the things you worked on. What is it you're trying to change? What do you want to do in your world? So from an AI perspective, if you say, look, go back to your comment, I want to understand customer sentiments. I want to understand who's buying what, when, where, and how, and then how can I put it into a model, and how can I increase my revenues? Or how can I cut my costs where I'm not losing so much money? So we've worked on things like taking a retail business, a food business, and offering coupons out to people that only came in and bought a drink. How do you get to upsell them versus people that came in and bought more than a drink? Well, then if you offer coupons, do you increase the ROI, right? If you don't give them the coupons, do they continue to buy that way?
Yeah.
What's the outcome, right? And you build a model based on that, if that's what the strategy is, and then you test the model with test sets, and then you tune it, and you keep checking to see what the results are. And then you offer coupons out now to both parties. If I give to people who only buy a drink, and I give it out to people that just buy a drink and food, can I increase both of them? And you keep looking at the test results, and you see what is the outcome. If you find that nothing changes, then you have to tweak your test case. You have to tune your model. Yeah. And eventually, when you feel the data that you've given to it, and it's making sense, then you release that model out, and then you keep testing and tuning the model over time. You can't just walk away from it. It's not that set it and forget it type of technology.
Yeah.
You have to keep looking at it. So in that instance, they grew revenues $1 million a year by offering that out. And it takes time to keep testing and tuning and seeing what the results are. Now you could do the same thing with data from an M&A perspective. Maybe you want to pull in data from what's the market look like?
Yeah.
What is the market saying? What are the interest rates saying? What is the buying sentiment saying? What's the consumer price index? What are the what are the results from employment, unemployment, et cetera? What are other investments happening out there? Are private equity getting larger investments in their funds? It's all different data sets. What makes sense and what is the outcome you want? Does that mean it's going to be 100%? No. But what it can do is reduce that how much time you're spending on going through so much data in order to provide a result, and may get you through that data much quicker.